but we can imagine it. We can imagine it playing over things now. Hooray!
I'm wearing my Bada Bing t-shirt because I love strippers and sopranos.
Mm-hmm. And this combines the two.
And fashion.
And clearly. I like strippers, sopranos, and being well dressed.
And buying my clothes off eBay.
Welcome, everyone, to the Coin Bureau podcast. My name is Guy, and this is my friend...
Mad Mike Mooch!
Mad Mike Mooch, joined as ever by my good and old friend, Mad Mike Mooch. It's great to be here again with you, Mad Mike.
How are you, man?
I'm well, thanks. I'm well.
What's new?
Well, not an awful lot since we last spoke. It's been nose to the grindstone. It really has. Been very, very busy. But in a good way.
Where are we today?
We are, so this is a special surprise for you today.
Yeah, I've not been out this container yet, so I've just woken up here.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling excited. What cuisine are we going to be dining on this afternoon?
Well, so we're recording today from, now, as I said, because you have recently become a dad, and I know that everything is kind of, a bit tricky for new dads, not too much sleep and dealing with...
Are we in Lapland?
We are not in Lapland. No, we're even better than that. I've organised a special surprise for you because today...
Vegas!
Is it the other side of the world? Are we recording from the other side of the world from your son? No, today, as a special surprise for you, we are going to be recording from the home dressing room at Stamford Bridge.
Amazing.
Which is, of course, the home of your beloved Chelsea Football Club.
Yes.
Yeah. I have managed to pull some strings, and they needed a lot of pulling. And I have managed to get us privileged access to the first team dressing room, to the inner sanctum of
Stamford Bridge.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So, I mean, here we are. And I can say one thing. I have never seen quite so much marble in all my life. And of course, the only other thing of note is the huge sort of mosaic at one end. And is that Roman Abramovich? Is that the owner?
Yes.
Okay. And he's sort of, he's there in a toga and he's holding, I think that's an axe in one hand.
Yes, yeah.
And an AK-47 in the other.
It's a gold and diamond encrusted AK-47.
Okay, God, that must have cost a lot of money to make that sort of mosaic. And who are the sort of bloodied and bruised and dead figures scattered at his feet?
Those are all of the previous managers of Chelsea Football Club. Yeah,
because he's gone through quite a lot.
Yeah. Every single one of them that you see, like that's Mourinho,
right?
That's Conte.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, and is that Gus Hiddink?
Yeah, Gus is on there twice.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh, so because I see. Well, he's been two parts.
Yeah.
Hasn't he? He's been sort of cleaved in half by what looks like.
There's Sari, like his smoking remains.
The guy who looks like the mafia boss out of Gomorrah.
Yes. Anyway, should we talk about some crypto stuff?
If you like.
Or are we not talking about crypto again?
No.
This crypto podcast.
The crypto podcast that doesn't actually talk about crypto. So we're going to have a very nice, leisurely, and of course informative discussion about blockchain technology, which, as I say, is the reason why cryptocurrencies are able to function. So when I use examples, we will generally use Bitcoin.
Other crypto coins are available.
Indeed, which is, part of the problem. Because obviously, as you'll remember, the problem with cash is that you can only transact face-to-face.
Face-to-face or just use a postal. We've gone through this in the last one, but tricky.
Or as you pointed out, a giant catapult.
Cash catapult.
The cash catapult.
Yeah.
Have you...
Cash-tapult.
Have you managed to get the patent on that yet?
No.
Is it?
I'm having trouble paying for it online. I only deal in cash.
I'm trying to find a way to catapult the cash.
Yeah,
to
the trademark.
Okay.
People.
Well, at least you're staying true to your principles. That's great. Because we can't really trust each other, can we?
No.
I mean, I've known you.
History has proved.
I've known you for 25 years, and I know full well that I couldn't rely on you to.
IOUs, let's be honest, if it's for less than a tenner, do you really owe it?
Yeah. Well,
By this logic,
yes, you do.
We do need third parties. Do you want me to do it?
Yeah. Why don't you say it? Yeah.
Before we look at the solution to the double spend problem that doesn't involve a third party, let's quickly talk about the centralized database that these third parties use to keep records up to date.
Thank you, Mike.
I was praying not to fuck that up. I was like, don't fuck this up. Don't fuck this up.
Did you just read that off my notes? That's brilliant. I thought you did it very well.
Yeah, I can read.
Well
but
done.
I was bricking it.
Because can you imagine if someone was able to gain access to all this data, to all your personal data?
Yeah.
They would.
Like a Facebook.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if we were all so stupid as to hand over our personal data to someone we probably shouldn't trust?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Thank goodness we don't do that. Do you remember Ashley Madison?
Yes.
Do you remember what happened with that?
Very much so. Yeah, I was very much embroiled in that.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you?
No.
You said it so convincingly. I thought, well, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, Ashley Madison, which is the website designed for cheating partners.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? You're a little bit on the side or something or like
Yeah.
that. It's kind of like... so everyone knows the score. You're on here because you're a bit of a scumbag.
Yeah.
But us scumbags like to hang together.
It was.
And then that has some very sensitive information which could ruin some lives, marriages and families.
Which it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like some people, like myself perhaps, may have just registered and never followed through.
Just registered out of interest.
Yeah.
Just wanted to see what it was all about and...
To be fair, the amount of people I've registered onto Grindr when they've left their phone unlocked, it's huge.
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
That explains all those emails I've been getting, yeah. But we also have to trust these third parties to keep our data secure. We have to hope, really, that they
got their act together.
Yeah, they got their act
So you have
together.
to do due diligence for everything you have to every time you pay for something online.
Well, in theory, yeah, but in practice that would be impossible.
Exactly, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. It's just there's only so much investigating you can do before you buy a coffee.
Yeah.
Or order something online.
Everyone, one queue of people waiting to pay and another queue of people
Just
sort of
researchers going, okay,
researching.
what is their cybersecurity
Yeah.
protocol?
Is this coffee shop going to lose my data? Do they have a history? Who are their payment providers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just like with most of the Ashley Madison subscribers.
Exactly. Exactly.
How could they complain about a breach of trust? If they're all on there cheating, it's just like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I trusted you. Ashley Madison. I trusted you.
I trusted you. How could you do this to me and my families?
How could you do something so terrible, Ashley Madison? How could you be so irresponsible? Data companies is massive. It runs into the billions every year.
I've seen The Matrix. I know how this works.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was like a classic time when like TV programs would glamorize hackers. And it'd always be some kind of like cool looking girl
Yeah.
with a weird haircut. And everyone was in shape.
I can't imagine most hackers look like a young Johnny Lee Miller and Angelina Jolie.
No.
As you say, yeah, there's probably a lot of junk food involved.
Yeah.
A very sedentary lifestyle.
Yeah.
I would think hacking.
Or are we painting a picture that it might just be
Are we?
unfair?
Do you think we're grossly overgeneralizing the lives of hackers?
No, not at all.
Do you think?
I don't know. I think some of them are just sort of like mathematical geniuses, and they probably have very normal lives, and they just are able to do this shit.
Yeah.
I don't think they're just neckbeards, so to speak.
Yeah. They're I guess there's no one particular type, is there?
No. That's what you get when you sort of generalize and stereotype.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious, but often not right.
Yeah. It'll serve us right when we're hacked by someone who's
Yes.
completely against the stereotype, who's sort of tall and athletic. Was actually
He's just finished his ultra marathon. Just come on. Arrives in his Ferrari. Just, I suppose they probably do. If they're a hacker, you probably have got access to lots of money.
Yeah. They could be very wealthy, couldn't they? Yeah. Actually, sorry, I just did an Iron Man before I hacked into your computer, stole your identity, and sold it to Russian bots. Yeah.
Anyway,
So let's move on.
do you know what I miss?
What?
Newcastle Stotty shops.
Really, did you like Stotties?
Yeah. Did you not like the sandwich shops?
I did. I wasn't wild about Stotties though.
No.
I mean, it was
No.
like eating ballast.
Yeah, they were too much. It's too much bread.
Yeah.
But I did quite like going in there, talking to a lovely Geordie gran
Yeah.
or mam, a nan. How are you, man?
What do you have, pet?
Why, eh? Fucking 14 fillings.
I was going to manage all 14 of those, pet. Are you sure you wouldn't like, maybe like 2 or 3?
Yeah.
Do you remember very early on, like our first few days at Newcastle, we were lost because obviously this was before Google Maps. And we went into a shop. We were standing on the high street, I think, and we were trying to find a certain place. And we went into a shop, and it was only like day 2 or day 3 there. And we went up to a really nice middle-aged lady behind the counter. And we went up and said, hi, sorry, really sorry. Can you tell us the way to, can you show us how to get to the quayside? And this really lovely, pet, well, what you do, right? You go out of here and you turn right and then you head straight down and then you turn left. And she was just talking and we were, thanks very much. And we walked out and we both looked at each other and went, did you
Understand a word about
Yeah. I imagine your first question is...
what is blockchain?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I imagine that right. That was very well anticipated on
Well,
my,
I think
on
that-
my
I mean,
part, wasn't it?
It's kind of what... It's kind of what everyone thinks, because you kind of, not everyone, but ignoramuses like myself and people who are maybe headstrong with their investments. They just see some green candles.
You just see a chance to make money. Oh, there's a blockchain behind this. Fascinating. A blockchain is basically a database made up of transactional data that's stored on a network of separate computers.
I thought you weren't going to use any jargon.
What is a database?
Yeah.
What does transactional mean?
What is a
computer?
network?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is a computer?
What's a truck?
Now, last time I was sending all these £10 notes to you, all these £10 to you through the traditional banking system, the tables have been turned. Mikey, you are going to send me a Bitcoin.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
You are very welcome at the moment.
I'm doing pretty well. Have you heard of cryptography?
Yeah. So it's like the study of maps. Digital maps
keep
of
digging.
blockchains. So you map out where the transactions have been and are going to. I'm very profound.
You are deeply profound. Cartography is in
Ah,
fact the
that's-
study of maps.
yeah.
But I knew it was one of the ographies. And his team at Bletchley Park, who managed to crack the German Enigma
You're
code.
such a wealth of knowledge, guy.
No, I know. I didn't even have to look that up. Well, because I've seen the movie. So, the film.
Yeah.
There was a Benedict in it. It was either Eggs Benedict or Benedict Cumberbatch. I'm pretty sure.
Which one have I eaten? I was Benedict. I had in my mouth. Eggs Benedict. I had in my mouth.
When I was researching this, a real life kind of example sprang up to me. And this is very, very simplified, but do you remember when we left university? So this is kind of early to mid noughties.
Yeah.
And we were all back home here in London. There was you and me, and there was a few others of us, people like Joe and Mark's, our old school friends, and people like that. And I remember there was a period over a few years where we were all kind of working occasional jobs and things like that, trying to figure out what we wanted to do, mostly living back at home with our parents, all this sort of stuff. And sometimes we would have money and sometimes we didn't.
Yeah.
And so we were always, as I remember,
In each other's pockets.
yeah, borrowing money off each other, lending money to each other. And I remember it,
A lot of it was one way with one particular friend.
yes. Yes. And I remember I lent that particular friend a particularly large amount of money over the years, which, funnily enough, he does acknowledge. But I remember thinking at the time there was absolutely no way of keeping track of this because it was so complicated, wasn't it? It didn't help the fact that usually these loans
We're at early hours of the morning after a lot of alcohol.
Yeah, oh, lend me 20 quid. Yeah, I'll pay you back tomorrow. Yeah, just 40 quid. Yeah. So there was absolutely no way of keeping track of it, and I used to kind of dream because we'd always have these disputes about it. We'd meet up a few nights later. It'd be like, "You got that 20 quid? What 20 quid? I didn't lend you 20 quid. Yes. I didn't.
Before the day of camera phones and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
Not that you would these days. Like, you'd just be like, okay. Cool.
I just remember thinking, wow, if only there was a way of keeping track of all this, of having a sort of godlike overview of it, and then I would be vindicated and I would get the hundreds of pounds that were due to me, and everything would be fine. And in that way, I think I can be said to be the father of blockchain. I very much feel that I am responsible for the underlying concept of blockchain.
Does that mean you're the 15th richest person in the world?
Well, it means I should be.
You should be.
Yeah.
If only you had acted on your idea.
Yeah. If only I'd had a working knowledge of programming and cryptography and economics, and been about 3,000 times more intelligent than I actually was or am.
Wow. Why do I have to be called Mad Mike?
What would you prefer?
Sad Mike. Sad, tired, depressed Mike.
Bad Mike. We all know that's
Did I tell you about this story once? I was DJing back in my DJ.
When I was the DJ.
DJ. And someone came up to me, a lady came up to me when I was DJing. She went, "Do you know that film, Magic Mike?" I went, "Yeah." She went, "You look a bit like the main guy from it, but you're more of a tragic Mike." And then fucked off. And I'm sat there just standing behind the desk just going like, I can't even... What do I do? Is that a compliment? Do I look like just a shit Channing Tatum? Or is it just like... I took it as a compliment.
I think so. I think that's how it's meant. What prevents someone from running multiple nodes and gaining more control of the network that way?
What does?
Well,
how can we get control of multiple nodes?
So yeah, it's worth pointing out that anyone can run a node. It's a question.
That's something I did not know.
Dear God. So if someone was able to control a majority of nodes on the network, they could have their...
A node at all.
A node at all. That's actually quite good. I like that. This is a problem.
That's an issue.
This is definitely an issue. Yeah,
so
this is something.
Someone with a lot of computers, Mr. Bill Gates.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sure. Bill Gates doesn't strike me as the type.
Well, if he owns every computer that was built.
Well,
if he could, could he not do it? If he had, could he not just in the next Microsoft Windows just put on a little bit of blockchain software and then suddenly overnight turn them all into... See, the police are here.
The police are already...
They're already on this.
We're going to touch on miners in just a moment because they are very important.
We shouldn't touch on miners. We should never touch on miners.
I saw your face light up as I said that. Before we sign off, I just want to give people a flavour of what we're going to talk about in the next episode.
Sure.
So we haven't looked at how these blocks are encrypted. Do you remember early on I said, yeah. We need to talk about that. We also need to talk about how they get added to the blockchain.
That process.
Yeah, it's not as simple as I made out. Now, we've talked a lot about mining, but what exactly is mining? We've touched on it, but we haven't gone into detail. And so we are going to answer these questions and a lot more in the next episode.
Let's get technical.
Next exactly. Week. We're going to get really technical in the next episode. Are you ready for that?
Sure.
Yeah. Thanks for sticking with us, everyone. You've got lots more very technical talk to look forward to in the next episode.
You knows it.
And let's hope no more jokes like that.
Oh, there's loads, but It's the only thing that keeps
You're
keeps me
working.
alive.
You've got a piece of paper. I see you're writing them down. You're writing them down. Thanks, Mike. This has been fun.
Cool. Take care, guy.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.